55 pages. 55 pages worth of jury instructions for this Trump trial. Now, I'm sorry, but if we need 55 pages for a trial, for jury instructions, then our legal system is in serious trouble. And I understand that you judges and lawyers out there think you're a cut above the rest. You speak in legalese. You think you're better than we are because you know the law, because you're lawyers and judges who know the law. But you mean to tell me that you can't give a set of jury instructions in, let's say, 5 or 10 pages? 55 pages now? And we're going to go through this. I'm going to go through this just to show you how sophomoric things have gotten. Especially with this judge, who, by the way, from what I understand, donated to the Biden campaign. Keep that in mind here as we go through this. So according to CBS News, and this is the article over at CBS News, Trump trial ends first day of jury deliberations without a verdict. They walk you through this. And if you go down through the article here, show it to you here, they have a section where you can actually click on, pardon me, word to those of you doing YouTube videos, don't eat ice cream before you do a video. Coat your throat really bad. I'm trying to find it here, the link where you can, let's see if it's up in this part of the page here. But at any rate, you go through here and there is a section where you can click on it and it'll bring you to this page here, which are the actual jury instructions. Now, there's been some changes to this. So just to refresh your memory here, Trump is being charged with 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree in relation to these reimbursement payments, $130,000 to Stormy Daniels via Michael Cohen. And it's alleged that Trump hid the purpose of this reimbursement. But the weird thing is, the jury doesn't have to agree on any of these, what they're calling unlawful means. None of this makes any sense. I'm sorry, none of it makes any sense to me. So here are the unlawful means. Pardon me again. Let me take a sip of my coffee here. Maybe that's what's doing it. Like I got milk in my coffee. So they don't have to agree, the jurors don't have to agree on violations of FECA, which is the Federal Elections Campaign Act, falsification of other business records, or tax law violations. So you could have 5 jurors saying, yeah, we think he's guilty of whatever it is here, and 3 or 4 other jurors saying, no, we don't think he's guilty of that, but we think he's guilty of the other. Well, wait a minute. I thought that 12 jurors were supposed to unanimously agree on whether or not Trump is guilty or innocent here. I go back to 55 pages of jury instructions when you can do it in less than 5 or 10. Is it any wonder why the legal system is screwed up? But you lawyers and judges out there, lawmakers, just keep making the law. Speaking in legalese. Now, the judge says here that falsifying business records can, man, I'll tell you what, never eat ice cream before you do a video. Falsifying business records can also go beyond items such as checks, vouchers, or invoices, but can include things like Trump Organization tax records, bank statements associated with Michael Cohen, or any records related to wires sent to Stormy Daniels' lawyer, any of these communications or payments. 34 counts. And the reason why Alvin Bragg is bringing these charges because he believes that Trump was trying to defraud the public or defraud somebody out there to cover up another. He was doing this with the intent to cover up another crime. And that crime was to alter the result of the election, even though these payments to Storm, or these, I guess it's a series of payments, $130,000, whatever it was made within his first year as president. So this was well after the election, several months after the election. I think Alvin Bragg is way over his head here. So let's get, for the sake of time, let's get to, pardon me. Again, don't eat ice cream before you do a video. But it was good. Chocolate ice cream, nothing like chocolate ice cream. So, post-summation instructions. Members of the jury, I will now instruct you on the law. I will first review the general principles of law that apply to this case and all criminal cases. Okay, fine. You have heard me explain some of those principles at the beginning of the trial. I am sure you can appreciate the benefits of repeating those instructions at this stage of the proceedings. Why is that sentence in there? Again, go back to maybe 5 or 10 pages. On the first page, or make it one page, you say, here's the defendant. Here's the crime or the crimes they're being charged with. Here are the laws or statutes that would apply. Go hash this out and figure out, based on the testimony you heard here in court, whether or not this person is guilty or innocent, beyond a reasonable doubt. Can we please get back to that? No, but that would be too simple for the court system, you see. That'd be too easy for him. Next, I will define the crimes charged in this case, explain the law that applies to those definitions, spell out all the elements of each charged crime. Finally, I will outline the process of jury deliberations. So, scrolling down here. Role of court and jury. You see, because if you're selected as a jury, you're too stupid to know the role of the court and the jury. During these instructions, I will not summarize the evidence. Now, this is a real kicker. Wait till you hear this. If necessary, I may refer to portions of the evidence to explain the law that relates to it. My reference to evidence or my decision not to refer to evidence expresses no opinion about the truthfulness, accuracy, or importance of any particular evidence. In fact, nothing I have said in the course of this trial was meant to suggest that I have an opinion about this case. You donated to the Biden campaign, but you don't have an opinion about this case, Judge Mershon. If you have formed an impression that I do have an opinion, you must put it out of your mind and disregard it. Why is this in here? Again, here's the defendant. Here are the charges, the crime that he's being accused of. These are the laws and the statutes that apply. This is what you heard during the hearing or in court today. Go and hash this out, figuring out whether or not he's guilty or innocent based on what was presented in court, based on the evidence, beyond a reasonable doubt. And it just gets worse from here. The level of my voice or intonation may vary during these instructions. If I do that, it is done to help you understand. You see, because you're too stupid. If you're too dumb to figure out why you're on a jury, you should not be on that jury in the first place. It is not done to communicate any opinion about the law or facts of the case or whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty. It is not my responsibility to judge the evidence here. Well, good for you, Judge. You admit your role here. It is yours. You are the judges of the facts, and you are responsible for deciding whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty. Again, why are they there to be on a jury? To twiddle their thumbs? It's just incredible. Now, this is where things really go off the rails. Ready for this? Fairness. And it gets woke. It gets really woke in this next paragraph. Remember, you have promised to be a fair juror, and a fair juror is a person who will keep their promise to be fair and impartial. Now, to be fair here, since we're talking about fairness, he does go through, some of these important instructions that the jury must follow. But I'm giving you a taste of what are in these jury instructions at the beginning here. Again, this does not need to be here. None of this needs to be here. Remember, you have promised to be a fair juror, and a fair juror is a person who will keep their promise to be fair and impartial and who will not permit the verdict to be influenced by a bias or prejudice in favor or against a person who appeared in this trial on account of that person's race, color, national origin, ancestry, gender identity or expression, religion, religious practice, age, disability, or sexual orientation, and further, a fair juror, let me take another sip of my coffee here. Hey, you try doing a video at this time of night, okay? A fair juror must be mindful of any stereotypes or attitudes about people or groups of people that the juror may have and must not allow those stereotypes or attitudes to affect their verdict. As I have explained, we all develop and hold unconscious views on many subjects. Some of those unconscious views may come from stereotypes and attitudes about people or groups of people that may impact on a person's thinking and decision-making without that person even knowing it. As a juror, you are asked to make a very important decision about another member of the community. I know you would not want to make that decision based on such stereotypes or attitudes. That is on what we call implicit biases, and it would be wrong for you to do so. No crap, Sherlock. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. Man, I'm telling you, we're just going to get through this video tonight the best we can. But correct me if I'm wrong here. But don't you have something called the jury selection process where you're looking for impartial jurors? So why do these instructions need to be, or that paragraph need to be in jury instructions here? After you selected these jurors to be impartial. Or you're looking for impartial jurors. I don't understand it. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. This is all gobbledygook. Condescending. Let me instructions regarding the defendant jurors. You will recall that during jury selection you agreed that you would set aside any personal opinions or bias you might have in favor or against the defendant, and that you would decide this case fairly on the evidence and the law. You could just say that in the first paragraph on the first page, bud. But no, we can't do that because, we're the court system and we're talking about the law. We're judges and lawyers in the law. Because we're more important than you. Let's talk about sentence not considered. Also remember, in your deliberations, you may not consider or speculate about matters relating to sentence or punishment. Okay, I can understand that. If there is a verdict of guilty, it will be my responsibility to impose an appropriate sentence. Well, the jurors should already know that they're not there to hand out a sentence. They're there to find out whether or not this person is guilty or innocent based on the evidence presented in court. Am I missing something here? Evidentiary interferences, they go through that. Talks about if it rained outside. We'll end with this. For example, suppose you go to bed one night when it's not raining, and when you wake up in the morning, you look out your window, you do not see rain, but you see that the street and sidewalk are wet, and the people are wearing raincoats and carrying umbrellas. Under those circumstances, it may be reasonable to infer, that is, conclude. Really? You need to include both words here, infer or conclude, as though somebody doesn't know what those two words mean? We have stupid jurors now? Or is that what the courts want? That it rained during the night. In other words, the fact of it having rained while you were asleep is an inference that might be drawn from the proven facts of the presence of the water on the street and sidewalk and people in raincoats and carrying umbrellas. An inference must only be drawn from a proven fact or facts, and only then is the inference if the inference flows naturally, reasonably, and logically from the proven fact or facts, not that it is speculative. Therefore, in deciding whether to draw an inference, you must look and consider all the facts in light of the reason, common sense, and experience. Again, base it on what's being presented in court during the trial. Here's the defendant. Here are the charges. Here are the statutes or laws that would apply. Go hash it out and figure out whether or not this person is guilty or innocent based on the evidence presented. And you have to find that out beyond a reasonable doubt. So I thought I'd share this with you. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go through these jury instructions for you. Sophomoric, in my opinion, just sophomoric. But if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. You can follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can go to X, Culture Confederacy, at Culture Confed1 on X. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out, stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. And you know how we do it here. This is where the past crashes with the present. I'll catch you next time, and y'all have a great Wednesday night.